Good evening, everybody. Okay, we're gonna have to get out. We need a vote for a motion to get out of executive session. Have a motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Ms. Healy,
Yes.
Mr. Wallace,
Yes.
Mr. Dorr,
Yes.
Ms. Zahowski,
Yes.
Dr. Kukunis,
Yes.
Mr. Connolly,
Yes.
and myself is a yes. Good evening, everybody. And we're ready to take off here. Another wonderful night of school board. Okay. We gotta stand for the pledge. Do we have a flag? Mr. Schneider?
Robert seems to be showing it right now.
Right. Let's all stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the
Republic for which it stands, one nation,
Under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to do superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Downs. Good evening. The Riverhead Central School District will be reopening to students on Thursday, September 3rd, depending on the cohort that the student is in. Everyone is working to prepare for this day as it is a school year unlike any other. Our 10-month employees will return officially on September 1st and 2nd for very untraditional superintendent's conference days. We appreciate everyone's patience and understanding as our building administrators and clerical staff are preparing information to be sent home in a mailing by this Friday. We've been incredibly busy all summer with hiring for vacant positions, and we continue to work on hiring for our remaining positions. I would like to propose a Board of Education meeting for Monday, August 31st to appoint additional staff members. Our reentry parent information sessions were held last week. We have held a total of 9 sessions, 1 specific to each school, as well as 2 general sessions. All of those sessions were recorded and the links are on our district website. Thank you to the many community members that viewed the meetings and to our administrators who participated in our panels. We are planning for one last information session for families of our special education students on Monday.
Join the meeting.
On Monday, August 31st at 5 p.m. via Zoom. Login details will be shared later this week. So I'll just repeat that one. We have a special ed meeting, information meeting for families scheduled for Monday, August 31st at 5 p.m. via Zoom, and we'll be sending details out later this week. So as everyone knows, we have 2 options. We have the hybrid model for in-person as well as at-home learning, as well as an all virtual model. So as of today, there are 795 students in grades K through 12 who are slated for our all remote option. This represents approximately 14% of our total school population. I'm also happy to share good news that all 7 of our schools now qualify for the community eligible provision, which provides breakfast and lunch to all students at no cost, regardless of the family's ability to pay. There is an item on tonight's agenda authorizing this for all of our schools, including Riverhead High School and Riley Avenue School. I would like to recognize Keith Graham and his staff for overseeing a truly remarkable program that benefits all of the students in this district. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Toner. Okay, so we're going to go to consent agenda. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Any comments? Therese, any comments?
Yes, I'm trying to unmute my line. Sorry.
Yes, I would like to pull out the personnel and professional civil service, number 1 and number 2.
Okay, so.
Just the
where do
civil
I put
service
that?
section, right, Ms. Sahusky, not the professional section.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was under the personnel, but yes, the civil service section, number 1 and number 2.
And where do I put them?
We're going to pull those out for now. You can vote on the remaining items. And then you'll go back and deal with the,
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so, I could consent agenda. Ms. Healy,
Yes.
Mr. Wallace,
Yes.
Mr. Dorr,
Yes.
Ms. Zahowski,
Yes.
Dr. Kukunis,
Yes.
Mr. Wallace,
Yes.
Mr. Dorr,
Yes.
Ms. Zahowski,
Yes.
Dr. Kukunis,
Yes.
Mr. Conley,
Yes.
and myself is a yes. So 1 and 2 of the civil service personnel sheet is now tabled. Go on to new business. Letter A, approval of intermunicipal agreements. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments? No comments? Ms. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Dorr?
Yes.
Ms. Zahowski?
Yes.
Dr. Kukunis?
Yes.
Mr. Conley?
Yes.
And myself is a yes. Resolution goes through. Approval of memorandums of agreement. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments? Ms. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Dorr?
Yes.
Ms. Zahowski?
Yes.
Dr. Kukunis?
Yes.
Mr. Conley?
Yes.
And myself is a yes. Memorandums go through. Approval of cooperative bid. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Any comments, scares, or concerns? Not hearing any. Ms. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Dorr?
Yes.
Ms. Zahowski?
Yes.
Dr. Kukunis?
Yes.
Mr. Conley?
Yes.
And myself is a yes. The bid goes through. Item D, approval for CEP participation. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second, please.
Second.
Any comments? I have one. I think this is great. This is fantastic. So now we got all 7 schools. With that said, Ms. Healy,
Yes.
Mr. Wallace,
Yes.
Mr. Dorr,
Yes.
Ms. Zahowski,
Yes.
Dr. Kukunis,
Yes.
Mr. Conley,
Yes. I just out of curiosity, I know I think it's a great thing, but maybe superintendent or Sam can pound on that we make money in regards to the free lunch program and stuff like that going forward. You know, it's not we're spending a lot of losing. I don't know if that's something that can be said or not.
I'm going to recommend you finish the vote first, and then you can go back and have the comments.
Yes.
Okay. And myself is a yes. You had a comment, Mr. Conley?
I just wanted this to be painted in a better light, not looked upon negatively by the public, and so to speak. This is a good thing. It's not some people see it as a bad thing. We actually make money on this program. You know, I just wanted to put out there that it's decent.
No, it's a good thing, right? Definitely a good thing.
And I
Item-
think you hit the nail on the head. This program, in its first 3 years of existence, allowed us to serve 100,000, in its first year of existence, allowed us to serve 100,000 more meals than we had in the prior year, just at 3 elementary schools. And that led to a large financial windfall for the district, but for the district's cafeteria fund. But more importantly, it allowed meals into the mouths of hungry students. And that is the most important thing of any of it.
Thank you, Mr. Schneider. Okay, item E, participation in the school bus stop arm enforcement program. This is that arm that comes out and takes a picture of your license plate if you go through the passing school bus. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Any comments?
I think this is also another good thing to be part of, the safety of our children.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can you just, Lori, I know you just said what it was, but can you just do a little better summary of how we benefit from this?
Well, what happens is when you drive past a school bus now and the arm is out with the stop sign, it'll take a picture of the car that went past and they will get a ticket and we don't have to do anything. And it will definitely save lives, that's for sure. It's the safety of our children. It's a great thing.
Is there a mechanism or something on the bus that, how does that take
It's
the picture?
the arm itself, the stop sign itself that takes the picture.
The company that runs this program, Mrs. Downs, if I may,
Sure.
the company that runs this program on contract with Suffolk County carries the cost of installing the camera and the associated GPS and necessary hardware on our buses. We don't pay anything for it, but it's also important to note that we receive no financial benefit from any tickets that are issued. The money goes to, it's split between the municipality where the infraction took place. So it could be the town of Riverhead, town of Southampton, or the Suffolk County Police District if it's in Brookhaven, and the state and the company that runs the hardware. We have no financial benefit, but we also have no role in the issuance of the tickets or the enforcement. But as Mrs. Downs is saying, the benefit to us is that people are going to think twice about passing our buses when the flashing lights are on and the stop sign is out. And that will, that's, safety of children.
Any other comments? Ms. Healy,
Yes.
Mr. Wallace,
Yes.
Mr. Dorr,
Yes.
Ms. Zahowski,
Yes.
Dr. Kukunis,
Yes.
Mr. Conley,
Yes.
and myself is a yes. So we're getting our stop signs for our buses. Renewal of contract, letter F. Can I have a motion, please? Motion? Thank you. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Any comments, cares, or concerns? Not hearing any. Ms. Healy,
Yes.
Mr. Wallace,
Yes.
Mr. Dorr,
Yes.
Ms. Zahowski.
Zuhowski. Yes.
Yes. Dr. Kukunis,
Yes.
Mr. Conley,
Yes.
and myself is a yes. Letter F, renewal contract passes. Letter H, amendment to approval of library contract. Can I have a motion, please?
We forgot G.
Forgot the voter
G.
ballots.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Downs, are you there?
Yeah, I'm looking for G. I don't have G here.
Oh, okay, yeah. G is the authorization of the disposal
Okay,
of the
G,
voter
the
ballots.
authorization. Okay, the authorization of the ballots of, was it May 2019?
May 21st of
May
2019.
21st of 2019. Can
I'll
I
make a
have
motion.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any comments?
Yes, I have a question. Can you just
Go ahead.
talk about the process of this since it's disposal of voter ballots? Can you just explain what that means?
Mike, can you please answer? You're muted.
Yeah, the law requires you to keep those extra ballots for a certain period of time for up to, I forget exactly what the schedule says, but you've passed that time now and now you're allowed to do it. I don't know the physical mechanics of how you do it. If that was your question, Ms. Hosky, to defer to Mr. Schneider on the actual physical process used.
It was both, so thank you. So, Mr. Schneider, could you explain the process?
Yeah, we hire a company that has a mobile shred truck. It comes to the spot just outside my window here, which is the basement entrance to the district office where the ballots are kept locked. The truck has an industrial sized shredder in it. The operator puts the ballots in a bucket. They go into the truck and they become dust.
Shredded.
Yeah, they become dust.
Okay, so this is a practice that we've done year after year after year.
There's
Okay,
a schedule of document destruction for not only this, but all the records of the district. Some records have to be kept permanently. Some can be discarded after 1 year, 4 years, 7 years. And so we keep things in boxes labeled of when they can be destroyed. And several times a year, whenever we, accumulate enough to make it financially worthwhile for the truck to come, the truck comes, all the boxes that have passed their destruction date go into the truck and they're shredded. So these will be part of that process when the truck comes.
okay. And then we continue to keep the ballots from the past two votes.
Until the schedule states that enough time has passed by and then we go back to the board. So at this
Okay.
time next year, we'll be looking to destroy those ballots. I should also say that shortly in the next couple of months, the New York State is actually publishing a total reformation of the document destruction schedule, and the board will be asked to adopt that. We're waiting for the state to put the finishing touches on what the schedule will be, but this is not affected in that.
Okay, thank you.
And just to take that one step further, Mr. Husky, this isn't a process and procedure that's unique to Riverhead. This is something done in all school districts across the state.
Right, okay.
Thank you. Okay. Yep. I have a motion, correct?
Mhm.
I have a motion, please.
Motion.
Can I have a second, please?
Yeah,
Comments we already had. Ms. Healy,
Yes.
Mr. Wallace,
yes,
Mr. Dorr,
Yes.
Mr. Howsky,
Yes.
Dr. Kukunis,
Yes.
Mr. Conley,
Yes.
and myself is a yes. Letter G passes. H, amendment to approval of library contracts. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Any comments? Seeing none. Ms. Healy,
Yes.
Mr. Wallace,
yes,
Mr. Dorr,
Yes.
Mr. Howsky,
Yes.
Dr. Kukunis,
Yes.
Mr. Conley,
Yes.
and myself is a yes. Letter H passes. I, amendment to approval of membership dues. Can I have a motion, please?
motion,
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any comments? Not hearing any. Ms. Healy,
Yes.
Mr. Wallace,
yes,
Mr. Dorr,
Yes.
Mr. Howsky,
Yes.
Dr. Kukunis,
Yes.
Mr. Conley,
Yes.
and myself is also a yes. Approval of membership dues passes. Opportunity for board members.
Mr. Downs?
Any board-
Ms. Downs, if I may,
Sure.
you had one walk-in resolution as well tonight.
Oh, I have a walk-in. What do I make that?
That would be letter J.
Yay. The resolution reads as, be it resolved that the Board of Education authorizes the issuance of a request for proposals for a superintendent search firm and directs council to take the necessary steps to issue that request for proposals. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any comments?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I would just like to, at this time, say that I'm going to vote no on this. We have someone performing the duty as superintendent who did not take a salary increase. I think we can keep with our interim superintendent for this time being. I don't think we're in any rush to go out and start a new search.
Thank you, Mr. Dewar. Anybody else?
May I
Sure.
say something? Okay. With all due respect, I think that we need to put out this so that we can get the process started to see what applicants are out there. We need a leader that holds people accountable. And I really feel, as though even though Ms. Tona is doing a fine job, I think we need to see what other applicants are out there in the superintendent pool. So I will be voting yes for that.
Along through that line, in my experience in education, the pool of qualified candidates will not be out there until after the holidays.
And that might be very true, Chris, and I appreciate the knowledge that you have, but I think that we need to get it out there, at least the message that we are looking for a superintendent, and with all hopes that Ms. Tona submits an application and we just go from there. So I think the sooner we start to communicate to this particular position, the sooner people are going to make decisions in their own professional career and possibly apply. So I think we should start it now.
May I speak?
Yes.
President? I thought the first part was us finding a search firm, so that was going to take some time for us to go through. We're putting out feelers and seeing what search firms we're going to come back, and I thought that was the first process. So I don't think we are going to be even ready to be looking for a superintendent towards the holidays anyway. So this was just giving us a jump start just to be able to find the search firm to help us. So I'm a yes, just because it just gives us those couple of months.
Yeah, I agree with Virginia. Tonight, we're only putting out the bid to look for the search firm. But according to the timeline on the actual search, I agree with Ms. Healy.
That's exactly my reasoning also, is it's going to take time to find a firm, and we got to vet the firm. And by the time we do all that, we don't know how many firms we're going to get. So I think it's worth the look. Let's see what's out there, and take it from there. Did I get a second? Does anyone remember?
I second it.
You did?
Mhm.
Okay.
I did now.
Ms. Healy, you got a comment, Brian?
I said I seconded it. I'll second it again. I second it.
Okay. Ms. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
No.
Mr. Dorr? Did you say something, Mr. Dorr?
No.
Mr. Howsky?
Yes.
Dr. Kukunis?
Yes.
Mr. Conley?
Yes.
And myself is a yes. The resolution passes. Board member remarks? Any board member remarks?
Yes, Madam President.
Go ahead.
I would like to, on our next board meeting, revisit dipping into reserves to fund sports and music and our extracurricular activities. Now that the governor has allowed sports to continue, I think this is something that we owe to our students and our children of Riverhead to educate the whole child. not just in the classroom, but also what they get through music, theater, arts, and sports.
Mr. Ranieri? How do we conduct this now? Do we take a vote and see if we can discuss this again in another meeting? Or do we, how do we handle that?
You're not going to take a vote on discussing it. A board member can, I'd have to look at your policy on what you put on the agenda, but it would probably lead to further conversation, similar to the way you've discussed the budget before, but I'd have to look into that and get back to you exactly on what the process would be, but it wouldn't be something you vote on now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anybody else? Any other board members want to speak?
Could I just, Mr. Dorr, I would support your request.
Anybody else? Mr. Conley?
Just, I would not support it. Governor Cuomo is already saying that he will most likely decrease at least 20% of our state aid. So to dip into reserves will be like cutting off our foot for next year. No.
All right, if I may, the dipping into reserves, I know it's something I've brought up, well, this will be 3 meetings in a row. Now that we found out, we have clarification that it could be a season worth of sports, fall sports. We already know Cuomo said, I think it's no football and no volleyball. I faintly remember those are the two that he said no for fall.
Football can start practicing. He's looking to start at September 21.
Yes, but I think football may not become competitive. I know that's what the feeling is, but they're going to practice. That saves a little bit of money. You're looking at fall sports, and that's it. If that small amount out of the reserves is something that's going to keep this district afloat, then we're in some serious trouble. Worst case scenario, it doesn't happen, we still have the money. It's, I'm going to agree with Mr. Dorr. I mean, it is the whole child. It's giving these kids hope. It's giving these parents, these kids, our community hope to do these things. And our job is to find that money. Our job is to find a way to get it done, no matter how it is. You talked about it being a rainy day fund. You talk about it being an emergency. This is the rainy day. This is the emergency. This is the time to step up and be great. This is one of those moments. We'll worry about next year's budget through transparency, being more transparent and explaining things better. I know when I bring up the meals earlier today, it was a matter of people think, oh, we're just buying free meals for people. No, everybody gets a chance. And I think we get almost $5. It's $4, I think 60 cents per meal that we get back from the state funded program, actually federally funded, I believe it is. So we get more money.
It goes to the cafeteria fund.
It goes to the cafeteria fund, but it's not like we're spending money additionally to take care of this. It's a great thing. So this is an opportunity to do something great here. I understand we're not going to have the money. We're not going to be able to fund every single club, every single athletic bit of athletics. I'd love to do it. This is the moment of greatness. And the one thing I do request, if we're going to revisit this next meeting, is that we have it broken down for all the sports again, all the clubs, what level, and what the prices would be. So we can make a better decision going forward. So, good luck with that. I appreciate everybody's position on it, but this is an opportunity to do something really good here, in my honest opinion. So thank you.
Thank you for saying that, Mr. Connolly.
Well, it's my understanding that the state already said that they're going to cut the amount of money that we're receiving per meal. That was already said. But either way, we're still going to get $3 and change instead of $4 and change. Okay. So next is opportunity for RCFA. Miss Lisa. You got the RCFA?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Ms. Downs. This is a statement from our RCFA president, Mr. Greg Wallace. He says, good evening. We would like to welcome the new staff members to the Riverhead family. We will be able to tell the new teachers what life was like before the pandemic. We would also like to congratulate Gina Florentino James on her retirement and her many years of service to the district. We now have the next few days to prepare for the opening of school. Being in a multiple cohort model poses a number of challenges to all stakeholders, but we will make it work. Thank you for your time and see you from at least 6 feet away in September. Greg Wallace, our CFA president.
Thank you, Ms. Lisa.
You're welcome.
Opportunity for public. Do we have any written questions?
We have one response for tonight's meeting. One comment, excuse me. This is from Steve Lagnina from Aquabon. It is amazing that the Riverhead Industrial Development Agency, appointed by the Riverhead Town Board, is already looking to grant millions in tax abatements to developers to build 2 new apartments while the Riverhead schools are bursting at the seams. Given that the bond failed, which would have alleviated some of the overcrowding, it would make sense that there be a moratorium on construction of all new apartments until such time when the overcrowding issue has been resolved. I am asking the Board of Education to pass a resolution advocating for a moratorium on new apartments until such time the overcrowding issue has been resolved. And that's it.
Thank you. I was just thinking today I was going to get in touch with the attorney and see what we can do letter-wise. They are accepting comments on the yesterday's meeting, the IDA, up until September 4th from the community on what they want to do over there. I was going to ask to have a letter drawn up on that. I also wanted to ask the attorney about something like a moratorium, but last I heard, they're talking about taking our big box stores that are empty and making them into micro apartments. So I have no issue in writing a letter like that and having something drawn up like that on the moratorium, and also a letter to be sent to the IDA about last night. I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but I have no issue with either one of them. Anybody got any comment on it?
No, I'm with you, Lori. That's fine. I think we should draft a letter.
Thank you, Matt.
Yes.
Lori, I'm in agreement. We should draft a letter.
Thank you, Virginia.
I'm in agreement.
Mike, thank you. Mike, we'll talk about it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I agree with you, Lori, and I agree with the letter, but I hope that the public as well does write letters as well, because I don't know, sometimes they just feel like, oh, the school board wrote a letter, we're done. Everybody should go out and write a letter.
Exactly. I mean, there's times, I know Mr. Schneider and one of our past superintendents, along with a past board member, had gone in front of the IDA. I know myself, I've been before the IDA numerous times, even before I was in this seat. Mr. Dorr has gone. Another past board member has gone. We have asked numerous times, and it falls on deaf ears. So we'll do what we can, but we need help, people. Everyone has to help. We're all in this together. So, do we have anybody, Mr. Schneider, on the side for questions?
Yes, Mrs. Downs, there are 2 people. Would you like me to admit the first one?
Sure, let them in.
Okay, this is Teresa Curiel.
Teresa?
Looks like she's muted.
I can't even see her.
No, I can't see her, but she's unmuted now.
Teresa, are you there? Sam, could you see her?
I see her there. I don't think she's answering though. Would you like me to put her back in the waiting room and bring in the next person?
Sure.
Okay. Hang on a second, please.
There's a phone number there. We should probably get rid of that if we can.
I believe this is Kathy Beresny, but I'm not sure.
Mrs. Beresny, you there? Yes, she is. Ms. Beresny, can you hear us?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, Madam President. I'm on the phone. I apologize.
That's okay.
I just would like to concur with Suka Kunis that the public needs to write a letter. Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, I'm sorry, Madam President.
Could you turn off your YouTube? Turn off the audio on your YouTube so we can hear you.
Where do you want me to go, Lori?
On the YouTube, if you're watching it on YouTube, just make sure that that audio is off so we can hear you better.
Okay. All right. Okay. Can you hear me, Lori?
I got it. Go for it.
Okay, I apologize. I want to concur with Suka Kunis that the public needs to write a letter to the IDA board. All the parents should write a letter and flood the town hall IDA with the letters opposing the apartments on Main Street. I believe that that's an important item. I did attend a lot of IDA meetings when I was on the board, and I worked, and I went there, rushed there at 5 p.m. To voice our opinions. They really don't want to have opinions, but I honestly believe that it should be done. And number two, I would like to know when the district office will be open to the public, meaning the building, when you knock on the door and just that little office. I mean, the accounting office is to the side, it's locked. The superintendent's office is locked, but just that little area there where the window is, if you want to go in to pick something up, you have to knock on the door or notify them that you're at the door. I don't understand why the door to the district office is locked to the public.
Tona, can you please answer, Ms. Tona?
I agree. I think at this point, being that we're opening school next week, there should be no limitation. We'll have to put the signage up to make sure that people respect the social distancing laws and have one person in at a time. Mr. Schneider, we can make that happen?
If that's your wish, yes.
Yeah, there's no reason not to. We have the students coming back. So yes, thanks, Ms. Beresny.
Okay, and thank you very much. And again, Lori, I know you'll write a letter to the IDA, but again, if you can put a notice out to all the parents, a robocall, or something that they need to voice their cares and concerns, just like they did for sports, art, and music. Riverhead Strong, Riverhead Blue Waves, we need to take care of our own. And I also wanted to say that I did have a conversation with Bill Rothar about the $4.5 million that is owed to the school. He gave me some information, but really when you're going to sue or put a claim against the town, really I think, Madam President, you need to put it to the county of Suffolk. Steve Malone's office, that's where the claim should go. Because they are the ones holding it. And I had a very nice conversation with Bill Rothar, better than I expected, and he explained a lot of details. So I think that the board or board members should go and speak to him or have him come and speak, Bill Rothar, to the board, because it is an eye opener and it's something that it's going to hurt us in the end years to come, because people can't afford to pay their taxes. So something's going to have to give. The taxes are higher and higher and higher. School taxes, not so much the town, but the school taxes, and it's going to be a problem for our future. So this is just the beginning of things to happen. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me speak. Good night.
Thank you, Mrs. Bresney. Have a good evening. Sam, the other lady?
Yeah, I'll bring back Teresa Curiel and give it another shot. Ms. Curiel, are you there? Can you hear us?
A mute was on, but it now seems to be off, but I don't hear anything from her.
Teresa, you there?
Okay, Mrs. Downs, there's no one else in the waiting room, so whatever you'd like to do, whatever the board's wishes are, just let me know.
I don't know. Teresa, is she still trying?
It appears to be connected as far as I can see. Her microphone is unmuted.
Teresa, can you hear us? All right, might as well forget about it. Teresa, if you can, email the board your question and we'll answer it at the next meeting on the 31st. If you can do that. I just lost my meeting.
You want me to let her go now?
We still hear you.
You want me to let her go now, Mrs. Downs?
Yeah, that's what we'll let it go.
All right,
Okay,
there's
so-
no one else in the waiting room.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to recess. Do I take a vote for that, Mike? To recess to go back to executive session?
Yes, you do.
Okay, we're
We need a
going to,
motion, a second, and a vote to go to executive session for the purposes of discussing items related to specific personnel.
okay. I need a motion to go into executive session, to discuss personnel. And I need a second. Thank you, Mr. Zahowski. And second, please.
Second?
Thank you. Ms. Healy?
Yes.
Can we have a quick discussion on this?
Sure, go ahead.
You just might let the public know that we will be returning from executive session back to public to make a decision on this, just in case somebody is waiting with bated breath on what this decision is.
Okay. We're going to come back out with a decision. Thank you, Mr. Dora. Ms. Healy?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Dora?
Yes.
Ms. Zahowski?
Yes.
Dr. Kukunis?
Yes.
Mr. Conley?
Yes.
And myself is a yes. So it passes. We're going to disappear now and go back to executive session, everybody. And we'll be back as soon as we're done with it.
Also, before we leave, just a technical, are we using the same link that we did for exec earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, catch us on the other side. Hello, everybody. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Healy,
Yes.
Mr. Wallace,
Yes.
or
Yes.
Ms. Zahowski.
Yes.
Dr. Kukunis,
Yes.
Mr. Conley,
Yes.
and myself is yes. Okey-dokey. So we're gonna vote on what was tabled. Is there a certain way that I'm supposed to say this, Mr. Renier?
Just looking for the agenda numbers again.
Okay, so we're gonna vote on the personnel report, civil service, the number 1 and number 2 that was tabled. Can I have a motion?
And you can vote on them together. That's fine.
Vote on them together
Yes,
as
please.
one? Okay, we're gonna vote 1 and 2 together as one item. Can I, have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments? None being said. Ms. Healy?
Can you come back to me?
What?
Come back to me.
Come back to you?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Dorr?
Yes.
Ms. Zahowski?
No.
Dr. Kukunis?
Yes.
Mr. Conley?
No.
Myself is also a no. Ms. Healy?
I'll vote no.
It is passed.
Fails. The motion fails, Ms. Downs.
No. We're voting. Oh, right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.